This is Tucson, Arizona, Friday, and I spent what, like 3 days at the truck stop in Nogales. Could not find anything. Then I asked one guy, I said, what would you do? Would you go back home to Ontario, or would you follow the money?
After 100 meters, keep left, Highway 77, West Miracle Mile, then turn right.
Yeah, the guy says, depends.
Turn right, towards Phoenix.
Depends if he wanted the money or he wanted to go to his family.
Meters, turn right, then bear left.
I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill this GPS. That's the problem with it. It does not give you like one instruction, right? It gives you like 20 instructions in non-ending torrent of bullshit. Okay, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go into settings, turn off voice guidance. That's it. Cut the cords. But anyway, so yeah, I just spent 3 days there. There was nothing going to Ontario unless I wanted to go empty like 1,000 miles to Oklahoma and then pick something for $2 a mile, which does not make any sense. So basically I have to spend my own money on 1,000 mile deadhead. And I found a good load in Houston, Texas, paying $8,000 to go to Utah, 70,000 pounds. I said, hey, I'll do it because it sits in the port. And they want me to have a tweak card, you know, and I have that. The only problem is that's a US load moving inside US. And I call the agent and say, did this load originate outside of the US? And evidently he does not deal with Canadians too often. He says, do you want it to originate outside of the US? I said, yes. I said, I'm Canadian, I cannot do loads inside of the US. So he said, okay, let me call the customer. And he never calls me back, so I call Landstar Corporate, and I say, yeah, I know these rules that we cannot do loads inside US, but I thought there was an exception when the load originated, let's say, in Mexico or overseas or something. And after like 5 people, I finally got the one that knows what the heck I'm talking about. And it's basically someone dealing with Canadian loads. And they say, yeah, you may be right. Oh geez, my steering wheel is like shaking. At a certain speed, around 80 kilometers usually. That's my left tire. But we're still legal. Alright? No violation. Anyway, so they say, yeah, you may be right about the rule, but the way Landstar interprets that, we do not accept. So if you are Canadian, you cannot do loads from, let's say, from Houston. Doesn't matter if it's in the port or bond facility or anything. So, you know, amazing load, and you need a special equipment. And I said, okay, so you want me to go 2,000 miles empty because I need to go only to Canada. It's like, you know, this law does not make sense to me because they want Americans to do it. I mean, I understand, but it was 1,000 miles away from me too. Like this Houston, I would have to go empty 1,000 miles, but then the pay was, you know, justifiable. And then I could get something from Utah to Canada. No, you cannot do it. All right. So I find another load from Tucson, from this town, which is just 1 hour north of Nogales, and it goes to Calgary, Alberta, which I like because then you're not too far from US border and you can get away with only buying US diesel, right? And but they only pay $4,900, which is very cheap for Alberta loads because there's nothing out of there. And then she says, well, what if I find you a return load? I say, okay, and she finds me 2 containers from nearby going to Tennessee. But in Canada, from Canada to Tennessee. Okay, so we start booking that. And And then her first load falls through. So now she only has containers that are coming back, $2 per mile. And then I'm thinking, okay, wait a second. So if I'm going to Alberta, if I want to make all these millions of dollars delivering this stuff to tundra and minus 40 degrees weather, you know, I might as well book something that pays good money. So I go back to the drawing board, back to the Landstar load board, and there's a load being much better than that one, and but it goes further. So and I booked it. So I'm gonna load Monday. Well, actually, they wanted me to pick it up Friday today. I said, forget it. It's like, 3 hours away. I don't want to rush. What if there's an accident or there's a jam, you know? And the guy said, no, you got to pick it up today, Friday. I said, well, then I guess I'm not picking it up because I was not in that bad of a, kind of rush to get to Fort McMurray, Alberta. If any of you guys know where that is, just give me a nod, okay? But that's like, basically, that's where the Santa Claus lives, right? And that's his famous, he lives in one of those mobile trailers they sell over there for $400,000. I'm not joking. There's no available housing. Everything is so overpriced, it's not even funny. But the loads up there pay pretty good, so screw it, I'm going. Because the agent called me back 1 hour later, he said, okay, the shipper agreed for Monday. You want me to book it? I said, yeah, book it. And then I called the first lady that had containers. I said, I'm going to be over there, but now it's 600 miles empty from Fort McMurray to that place in British Columbia. I said, if your shipper can wait till next Friday, I can do those containers. And she said, let me call you back. All right, so it was like on the phone, on the computer, all 3 days. But now it looks like I have 2 loads booked, so I get this one Monday. Just legal load, 30,000 pounds, some kind of a plastic stuff. And then I'm gonna deliver 2,000 miles. Pays pretty good. I'm gonna deliver to that tundra in Fort McMurray. And then I'm going 1 day empty south to pick up the 2 containers, and I'm going to Tennessee, USA. So back, I hope, to some warm weather. So that's a quick update from Sergie Dratchev. Trucking somewhere near Tucson, Arizona, USA on Friday. Be safe, and please be careful with that tequila.